Okay, guys, we're back at it. So, what we were talking about is on the parabola. It looks like the only valid zero, the only valid x-intercept here is 7. In other words, if this flare is shot up from the ship, starting at 56 feet, it's going to go up. It's going to hit a maximum here. So this will be the highest point in the air. It's going to come back down, and it's going to hit the water at 7 seconds. So again, it starts 56 feet above sea level, goes up, and then hits back at 7. So I already know that the zero is going to be 7 or 7 seconds. So what we need to think about now is how we could solve this by factoring. So let's look at that really quickly. So again, we're working on number 2. I'm going to factor number 2. So just like we always do, we look at the A term and the B term and the C term, and we notice that the A term is not 1. So our first step is to see if we can factor out a common factor. Well, when I look at 16 and I look at 104 and I look at 56, I notice that I could divide all of these by 2. I could divide all of them by 4. And it looks like we can also divide all of these by 8. And so what I want to do is make sure that I factor out a -8 so that my A term is positive, because when you factor quadratics, you always want your A term to be positive. So let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and factor out a -8 and show you what that would look like. So basically, I'm going to divide -16 by -8. I'm going to divide positive 104 by -8. And I'm going to divide 56 by -8. And I'm going to rewrite this using the distributive property. So give me just a second. So 0 equals, I'm going to factor out a -8. And I'm going to be left with a 2t squared. I'm going to be left with, let me see, I did this already. I'm going to be left with a -13t, and I'm going to be left with a -7. So in factoring out a -8, the end result is going to look like this. So I factored out a -8. Now we're going to notice a couple of things. I've got to continue to factor. The A term is now 2, and I can't factor anything else out. So I'm going to have to use the box method. So let me set up the box method real quick and show you what that would look like. Give me just a second. So the A term goes in the top left as always. The C term goes in the lower right. So we remember how to do that. And I'll put this up here. We remember the A term and the C term. Remember now we multiplied the A term times the C term, and I'm going to get -14. So now I'm looking for two numbers. Two numbers, where's it at? Two numbers that multiply to -14 and add up to -13. And those numbers are going to be -14 and 1, because -14 times 1 is -14, and added together gives me -13. So let me put those down. So -14t and positive 1t. All right, so I've got my box. This is the most difficult part. I know the box. So I've got the box. So now I'm going to divide out my common factors, and I'll show you what that looks like. So it looks like I can factor out a 2t, and I can factor out a t, and I can factor out a -7, and I can factor out a positive 1. So your box, once you factor out your common factors, is going to look like this. I'll leave that up for a second so you can look at it. Again, pause the video, check your work. This is a problem that you should do on your own, and then check with me to see if it, to see if you get it right. So that's what I'm looking at. So now we're going to rewrite this as 0 equals -8 times t minus 7, and then times 2t plus 1. And so, what we're looking at is now I have a quadratic and I'm trying to find the zeros. So to find the zeros or the x-intercepts, I'm just asking myself, like, what can I plug into this parentheses to make t, or to make the parentheses equal 0? And this one's straightforward, like t would equal positive 7 here. And then on this one, it's a little more confusing. I've got 2 times something plus 1 is equal to 0. And so t would have to be equal to 1/2 because 2 times 1/2 is equal to 1. I'm sorry, it would be negative 1/2 because 2 times negative 1/2 is equal to negative 1, and then plus 1 is equal to 0. And we're going to go back to Desmos, and I'll show you that you get the same result there. So you'll notice, like this point on the left, I've got a 0 or an x-intercept at negative 0.50. So that's that negative 1/2 we were just talking about. And then over here, I've got positive 7, 0. So that's the other 0. So again, I just want to show you the work that we did here again so that you understand that, like, this t minus 7 is related to this 7, 0. So they are the same point. This positive 7 is what is plugged in to make that equal to 0. And then on the left side, this negative 0.5 is what I would plug in here. Okay, what I would plug in here to make this parentheses equal 0. In other words, 2 times negative 0.5 is negative 1, and plus 1 equals 0. So I know that when time is equal to 7 or when time is equal to negative 1/2, that's when this flare is going to hit the water. And again, we know that the only valid answer here is 7. So to answer number 2, we would say the flare hits the water when x, or when t is equal to 7. So when t is equal to 7. All right, we're going to go ahead and do number 3